saw this post, and I don't want to go through it, but I'm gonna put the pictures up when I edit the video. I don't want to go through and read every image. I started doing that, and I just cut the video short. But long story short, there's a lot of these women. Some of these women have situations that are interesting in that all of these women were murdered, unfortunately. None of them should have been murdered. But some of these women have cases that there's some possibility they could have had a money come up, like through a divorce or getting custody of a child, or giving birth to a child to someone who was financially likely doing well, like a actor and NFL players and stuff like that. Those situations a little complicated, not justifying the murder on any level, but at the same time, you know what I mean, they were definitely suspect. But many of these other cases were, some of these women were killed for just not giving a phone number, not welcoming someone who tried to advance on them at a bar. One of these is so fucked up. This woman, Lavina, what's her name? Lavina Johnson. She was a soldier in the U.S. Army, and the Army ruled her death as a suicide, even though her genitals were burnt, her eye was black, her teeth, she had loose teeth, broken nose. She was brutally beaten, clearly, raped, clearly. And they called it a suicide because they probably didn't want to air out people who did it. And I'm mentioning all of these situations with these tragic incidents with these young women is because we got this whole metoo movement, and with this Bill Cosby trial, a lot of women think that they're getting justice. And that's half true and half not true. Because all these women that I'm mentioning right now, they're all black women. Lavina Johnson ain't getting no justice. Her assailants are unknown. I'm willing to bet that those people who raped and killed her weren't black, or else they would probably be known. In the cases of these NFL players, these dudes went to jail. So these black dudes were crucified. It's just very interesting because I've noticed every time black people integrate with other races, we weaken our race. And I'm really noticing that this integration thing, Me Too, is a weapon for integration. And I hope black women realize that. I'm not saying that I'm not saying black people can't live in a world and collaborate with people of other ethnicities. I'm not saying black people can't get along with people of other races. What I'm saying is we do need to have our own community while we're interacting with these other races. We need to have our own nail salons so that that video where that black lady, those black people getting in a fight with the Koreans or Chinese people, whatever, at the nail salon, that shouldn't happen. Rather than you getting in a fight with them over services rendered, you should be telling everyone and your mother and their mother and your grandmother and your sisters and cousins to never frequent that business again. That's the best insult you could ever give to any business that does you wrong. Negative word of mouth, and not shopping, not spending your money there, not empowering them. Your dollar's empowering them. After segregation, 95% of money earned in the black community goes out of the black community. This isn't true for other ethnicities. They frequent their own ethnic groups' businesses. They empower their own ethnic group. The money flows in the community and empowers each other to do great. We don't even have our own businesses. We need to, if you're black, we need to unite our ethnic group by creating a community, and that starts with, it starts on many levels. It starts on whatever level you're capable of executing the fastest. For some entrepreneurs, that might be starting a business. For some in the social services world, community world, they might be, they might start like a social services group or a community after school program or something at the schools, an educator kind of related thing. You know what I mean? But we have to create community so that black people enjoy being around black people. We have to make this a normal thing. Because right now, this whole Me Too movement is not going to get justice for black women. The situations that I'm showing you across the screen, these situations aren't going to help, or rather, these situations aren't going to be enforced for black women. And I know the thing that gets a lot of people messed up is they'll put this Me Too movement and say it's for women, but it's not for black women. It's not. And you'd be delusional to think so. They're gonna, like, and what's so conflicting about this whole Me Too movement on so many levels is like, you got a black perpetrator who's been convicted off of allegations for a white woman's allegations. But you have white perpetrators who are allegedly guilty of their crimes, and some of them aren't even being charged for the crime. Bill O'Reilly, Woody Allen, you know what I mean? Some of them aren't even facing criminal injunctions for what they're doing. And you got the black one, he's already sentenced to prison. And there were black victims amongst some of these other white guy perpetrators. So, and then on top of that, you got leaders of the Me Too movement, Asia Argento, girlfriend to Anthony Bourdain, who recently passed away, and she calls out Harvey Weinstein at an award ceremony, but then months later, weeks later, whatever, evidence of her having like a statutory rape or underage sex with this dude who was a model. I think his name was Jimmy Bennett. That shit comes out, and she's one of these people who's championed for the Me Too movement. So what are we really talking about here? This is a movement that has people who are in the forefront of it that are conflicting. She's not the only one. I want to say there's this NYU professor who supposedly was having like some affair with one of her students. Look, there's so many conflicting things with this Me Too movement, and it's still trying to reel women in. And the reason it's trying to reel women in, you got to realize the only ethnic group of all women that don't have solidarity is black women. Black women, we need to look. If you're black, we need to get our own. Black power isn't putting down other races. It's just recognizing that they have their shit together, and we gotta get our shit together. You know what I mean? Like my man Ayo Kaseko says, you gotta get your shit together, big on. You dig what I'm saying? We really gotta get our shit together. Like, these people of all other ethnic groups, I don't give a fuck who you're talking about. Polish, Argentinian, German, Peruvian, you know, Dominican, like Dominican Republic. Even on the black side, only in the West Indian community could I say we have the same thing, where you'll see Jamaicans and Trinidadians and Bajans and Guyanese where they'll have their own businesses. But black Americans, we gotta create that solidarity. We gotta own our own. We gotta be able to have businesses where black people work for other black people. This Me Too movement is not meant for us. All of these movements aren't meant for us. None of these movements are meant for us, B. This integration shit is a disaster, and it's a distraction. When this man, in 1964, Lyndon Johnson, signed the Civil Rights Act, which promoted single mother houses, people don't realize, because it promoted full affirmative action, which mostly benefited white women, And then for you to qualify for these welfare actions, which is still valid today, you can't have Section 8 with the father in the household. It's got to be a single mother. You can't have Section 8 with the father in the household. You're not getting it. You won't qualify. You don't meet the family requirements. So how is the Me Too movement going to protect black women? Tell me. I don't see it. Tell me. How is the Me Too movement supporting black women? Tell me. How is feminism supporting black women?